Hello everyone. It's been kind of a long time since I was actually doing something. For the past few weeks I was organizing something, but that didn't work out. So there's not really much to talk about that. I may add that to the channel in the future, but for now, welcome to a new part of our channel. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear it. It's the ceiling fan. It's making some noise. But a new, I guess, corner in the channel that I'm going to do is let's call it Throwback Thursday. So I will be reviewing old toys that I have or that I will buy in the future to review. But for now I have a few weeks planned for now. I mean, I have a few Ninja Turtle things, such as the ones that are in front of your eyes right now, and in the future I will add in Power Rangers, some other stuff that maybe need to be concealed for now until I show it off. I'm sorry, that was weird. Some neighbor is trying to learn how to play the violin, I guess. I've been hearing some, notes in the past few minutes, but I thought it stopped, so I'm sorry if you're going to hear that. Maybe it's only me, but still. So right here in front of us are old Ninja Turtles from the 1980s. Well, the end of 1980s, the start of 1990s, and let's talk about them. So this, I'm not sure if you can tell right now, but these are not the first release ones. These are with the hard plastic, not squishy or anything like the first releases. And I don't have them all. I only have Leonardo and Donatello here. They have no accessories, they have no belts, because that's how I bought them in a convention a few days ago. So today is Thursday. This will hopefully be up today, but I will be pre-filming the next ones. This is an idea I just came up with a few hours ago. This is inspired actually by Dawson Riders retro reviews. So if you want to say thanks to someone, subscribe to him. He has really good content if you're into Power Rangers or Super Sentai or Kamen Rider or any Toku things. So let's start talking about them. So as you can see, it's not that good of a toy in nowadays standards, but of course I wasn't alive back then in the early 90s and the late 80s, but this was even when I was a kid. These toys were all the craze. I had some, but my mother gave them away for charity because I did something bad when I was like 5 or 6, something that I can't remember apparently. So let's start with looks. So they are designed to look like something in between the early comics, the early comics of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think it was Mirage comics back then, the first ones. I'm sorry for my hands. They're so hard to stand, and with time their joint became a little looser. So, yeah. Actually, let's talk about that. For a long time, the longest time I remember turtle toys, they made them with this awful action pose stand, and that's, well, as a child that didn't really bother me because I was playing roughly with them like any child would. But nowadays I'm more neat with my toys, and I'm not gonna say I'm not playing with toys. Some toys are meant to be played with. So, I mean, with my newer Ninja Turtles, like this one here, I do play. Well, not by myself, of course. I'm not a child, I'm an adult, so I play with my younger brother, actually trying to make my little brother more into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Kind of trying to give him the same childhood experience that I had, with things that aren't that much on TV right now. Like, everything right now on television is either not for young ages or for too young ages. Like, have you seen the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, Rise of the TMNT? I will probably make a video talking about that. I was planning to, actually, after I watched the premiere. It was a free video on YouTube that Nickelodeon made. We're getting to a real long time now without actually talking about the toys, so let's stop rambling and talk about the toys. So, as I said, these are old, from the 80s, and again, not much to say about this, but they were really cool. And I mean, right now, the reason I bought them was for my nostalgia feel rather than for play, or not sure how to say that, not for people to see on the shelves. Please forgive me, I completely forgot that word. It will bother me and it will come back to me after the video. But yeah, display here. Now I remember the word. Yeah, they're not much for display because they're old, they're played with, they're not in that good of a condition. So they're not much for display, they're more for my little brother, so he could have feel of what's old, what's new, and all the coolness in him, in this things, and the things that I loved when I was his age, that I'm sure he will love when he'll be my age. But again, let's talk about this. We're 10 minutes in, barely talked about the toys. So these were released in the 1980s, based on the television show more than the comics, but you can see like a little bit of comic booky feel to it, since they look angry, they look violent rather than the cartoons. They have really buff muscles, which they didn't have in the cartoons, at least not in that specific cartoon that was meant for children and was goofy, while the comic was really gory, I guess. It was violent and not for small children like the cartoon was. But I mean, in the cartoon they had pupils in their eyes. Their eyes are blank. And let's just bring some newer Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toys. I'm just gonna say TMNT because it's too much of words to say. So let's bring here the newest Donnie released, the newest Donatello from the 2012 series of Nickelodeon. That I'm kind of sorry for its loss. I mean, I think they could have continued it a little bit longer. They could do things that they still haven't done, but still in the same style, still in the same characters. I mean, yeah. So as you can see, between nowadays toys and 80s toys, the articulation is really different. You can see where every single joint is in there. I'm going to show it off really soon, just hang on a bit. But you can see, like, here, this specific version is based off of the cartoon, the three-dimensional cartoon, so there it was probably much easier to translate the designs, the drawings to the toy. I'm sorry, I can't speak right now. I don't know what's happening. But let's continue with it. So, I mean, there are some differences, mainly in the skin colors. You can see old Donatello is much darker skin, and even Leonardo here is darker skin than this one. I don't know if you can tell, but I did put a little bit of a black wash on this one, so his skin now is kind of darker than it's supposed to be, but it's still much brighter and a different tone of green than this one. But yeah, I hope you can see that. Also, the feet, they have 3 toes in the 2012 style, which now they will not have in the newer cartoon. Well, I guess regressed back to 2 toes, even though 3 toes makes much more sense for a turtle, since that's how many toes a turtle would have. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about it, so let's just go to the articulation. It's very basic. I'm trying not to go out of frame here. Maybe I'll just take this here better, hopefully. Nope. Okay, let's hope my phone won't fall off. But here you can see the head can go for 60, and arms can go for 62. There is the elbow swivel, which is kind of weird. There is, I want to say it's like a ball joint, but it's not fully ranged like a ball joint, but that's probably because of the sculpting. But you can do like 360. You can take it out a bit closer, farther. Um, the range isn't that great, but I guess back then it was, and it's still great for children. I mean, I'm looking at this in the perspective of a collector and someone who likes to pose around with his action figures, but these aren't that, I mean, it's nostalgic. This is why I like them. They give me the nostalgia feel that I grew up on the old cartoons, even though I didn't grow up in the 80s. I guess the early 2000s were kind of 80s and 90s in Israel than the rest of the world. I mean, still when I was a child, internet was barely a thing. We still used like the phone connection, the dial-up internet connection. Probably not going to make sense to all of you here. Let's hope this will fall. It falls. No. Yeah. Even with those box blocky TVs, which, I mean, that was the standard back then, but now when you look at it from a retro view, you can see it wasn't really good. I mean, it was for the time, it was the standard. But now that we have HD and we have flat screens, when you get used to a better standard, you kind of feel like, what was the point with the earlier standard? Why didn't they do that? So simply because back in the 80s, I don't think they had the full technological capacity to make this type of joints that go both all around and in and out, like so, and I guess the sculpts didn't really lack that, because as you can see, those legs there aren't as long or as thick, I want to say, as the newer ones. Forgive me. So I guess they just couldn't make a joint that would fit there. But actually, looking at other toys that have much thinner legs, I still see joints there. So still, time, technology, everything advances, and when it does, I'm sorry, I just got a text message. Don't know if you heard it, even though I'm filming this with the phone. But yeah, anyways, so with time, technology advances, and things as we advance, and the standard advances, seems less practical, seems more arbitrary. So yeah, I think I need to script things more when I'm going to do the next reviews, and things just fall over, and even this newer Donatello falls over. So ending off here, we took a look on these two guys. I don't know how much good of a review I've done. It's gonna be very edited, since it was very long of a video with things that I added, even though I will make a different video about those things. Yeah, I switched to holding the phone right now because things happen and anything. So anyways, we took a look on these turtles. We had fun, I think. I mean, I will have fun with this later, with these guys later. Um, so yeah, bought them mainly for the nostalgia value. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to see you later when you're sleeping in the night. Why do I have to ruin things? This is why I can't have nice things. I'm sorry.